What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I hope you can hear me and see me. If you can, drop a one in the comments or drop your city and state in the comments. So you guys, I don't like to be doom and gloom, but I came sweaty from the gym to put in a little bit of work here and do this show tonight. And I hope this is helpful for you. My name is Ericka Williams of the Classy Climb blog, author of Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. Why am I talking about traditional banking is done? Baby, it's done, right? So, Turkey and Lebanon has made a lot of news lately. Lebanon more. Essentially, the world units have said their bank is a Ponzi scheme, which is funny coming from the United States, who our Social Security system is a Ponzi scheme. But I want to get you guys, a couple shout outs. Diamond Dave did a fire live earlier. Just several of his talking points were amazing. There's several videos I'll be sharing on the community page that are great. And I'm in here kind of finishing up some of the digital real estate course, recording things, getting them put in there for tomorrow, also getting ready for tomorrow's class. We have 3 more classes for the year. Okay. Just putting that out there. Live classes in the digital real estate course. My goal is for anybody who takes the digital real estate course by Christmas Day, you should be able to upload and be selling products and services or be on your way to selling products and services. Why? Why am I so talking about the digital economy? Because traditional banking is dead, right? Now I want y'all to take a deep breath here and absorb what I'm saying. Now, number one, let's kind of walk it down. And that was the first minute and 50 seconds. Welcome to my channel. I'm gonna slam you. Okay, and this is, you can go see a video by Jim Rohn about this. He did a great speech on this. Number one step is survival. What do you need to survive? When it's just you in your apartment eating your can of Chili's with your couch, that you don't think about much. And we are learning that in our society right now, right? Number two is, okay, well, I want to have a better life. I want to go travel a little bit more. I see social media. I want to do some things, catch some fish, snowboard. I'm going to make more money so I can have a better life. Number three is where you go into generosity. And this isn't the Maslow hierarchy needs. This is just a different take on it. Generosity is when you go, I want a girlfriend, or I want a husband, or I want kids. I want a dog or a pet because I'm doing so well. I can now afford to be generous. What you're seeing on the internet is a lot of people. I saw Aaron Clary's live a little bit while I was working out. Essentially, what he said was he gets this question all the time. Men are emailing him all the time. What do I do without women? What are the things I do if I don't have a girlfriend, if I'm not pursuing women, right? So you have these people who've kind of taught this school of thought, just avoid women at all costs, avoid them. Just get out of, just avoid them, don't look at them, don't live with them, don't marry them, don't do all this stuff. They're doing that. And now they're reaching out to them and saying, well, what do I do with my time? Again, we are being programmed one way. Our parents have programmed us one way, and you have a lot of people getting to 25 to 50 going, that ain't working. Well, mom and daddy said it ain't working, so I'm going to program myself a different way. And they're going to these different spaces and realizing that ain't it either. You dig what I'm saying? Okay. And so he's like, well, get out of your house. Go out, do things, do this and that. But guess what those things require, you guys? Money. I just had to sneak that in because I'm seeing a lot of that trend lately as we go into the fall. What do people do with their time? We saw in 2020, all the dog parks and the pet stores were empty. People were taking pets home because they were stuck at home by themselves. Right now, I've told you what's about to happen. You're going to start seeing people. And I brought that up because you're going to be like, what that got to do with the show? Listen to me. I brought that up because you're going to see this massive move to roommate situations. You already see it in cities all over down California. You already see it on the East Coast. You already see it in a lot of places. This massive room of, well, it's easier to just live with roommates. Oh, I'm house hacking. I'm doing this cool thing. And what essentially has happened is they're solving a social ill that they're alone. They don't have anybody to come home to. So then they go, well, I'm struggling with money. I'm stressed out. And I don't know what to do with myself. And so then the roommate situation goes on. And then we have, which made you guys upset, the Boston marriage comment I put in the section. Now you're going to say, Ericka, what does this have to do with banking? Because that's inflation. It's a monetary issue. You're experiencing inflation and a monetary issue. You moving back home to grandma, you leaving California to go live in Ohio because it's cheaper. It's not because you think Ohio is amazing and you just got to be there. The marketing for California is better, but you got to be in Ohio because of the monetary issue. Now you're going to say, well, Ericka, I can just go get me some credit cards and live off credit and get some this and that. No, that game is done. Go look at YouTube about four years ago. I would even say 2 years ago. That credit card game, the manufacturer spin, all that stuff was coming up to a point where you had 90 million people ain't made a payment in 3 months on their credit card. And that was about 3 years ago. I ain't even checked it recently. So you have these people who they done played all the games. They got the credit cards, maxed them out. They did all this other stuff. They done maxed out. They living alone in tiny little shacks. And they like, this ain't it. I'm going to leave and go where? To a cheaper town, to a smaller space, more affordable space. And even in that space, they still got to get roommates. It's a monetary issue. Now you're going to say, well, what does this have to do with being unbanked? If you look around the space, okay, because what is life without people? It's not living, okay? If you look around the space, there is two ends of the spectrum. I've talked about the K-shaped recovery, but I want you guys to pay attention. There's a lot of people all of a sudden talking about watches and silver and coins and yeah, I'm gonna buy all these watches. Yeah, I'm gonna buy watches. Okay, why are they buying watches? If you go study Argentina when they had their crash of their currency, people put money in things that they could carry. Go look up the World War I, World War II. People had gold teeth, gold this. What did the Germans pull off the Jewish people? Their teeth, their phones, their not their phones, their teeth, their watches, their wedding rings. These are hard assets. Not to take it so deep and dark, but these are hard assets. Okay. Here in Austin, it's very popular for people a couple years ago when I first moved here to buy a house knowing they were like this much in debt when they got into the house and then put roommates in every room of the house. They weren't happy about it, but they put them in there. Why? Because one that came, they were able to come home to somebody, able to split bills. So you have this generation of people who aren't married and realize, okay, what do I do all day? What do I do in afternoons? What do I do? What do I do? Because they're at the survival line, but they're not at the thrive line, and they're certainly not at the generous line. Right? So again, I said at the beginning, survival, thrive, generous. Okay. Just keep up with me. So we're talking about what are hard assets that you're going to start seeing people go into. Cars, silver, watches, art. Look at how the NFT market is doing right now. It makes no damn sense. It makes no physical, mental sense. Art is the epitome of money laundering. And people are going to be like, Ericka, how dare you? Listen to me, hear me out. There are several Black creators and several other people in the space who are buying huge numbers of art at ridiculous prices that you've never heard. I mean, Black artists that are living are like, I just made $50,000 last month. That's unheard of. And it's not Black people buying the art, it's white people. Okay. I'm going to just go there. I'm going to say what I have to say. And y'all don't like it and you change the channel. So they're buying this art. They're telling their insurance company, I just bought $50,000 of art from this person over here, giving it the valuation of her art now from now on ever. If she sells any art cheaper, she crazy. I just bought this art from this woman for $50K. This artist is a high tier artist. Now, this artist, if they're smart, will go sell everything else they've ever produced at a high mark. If they're smart. If they're smart. Keyword, if they're smart. Now, if you ever been to Chicago, you ever been to some of these other places, you'll start noticing some Black artists have these crazy prices, but it's a reason. Okay. Now, why is this happening? When you have capital controls, and I'm going to try to explain it without boring y'all to death, what is capital control? Capital control is when I go to Navy Federal and I say, hey, I've got a check here for $10,000. I want to cash it and take it today. I'm sorry, Miss Williams, we can't do that. What we can do is give you $250 and your check will be available maybe in 2 or 3 days. Imagine if I was leaving the country or needed emergency and I can't have access to that money for 3 or 4 days. Why is that? That bank is exhibiting capital controls. Let's go even further. If I go to the airport and I got more than $10,000 in cash in my wallet, on my body, on my person, what happens? TSA gonna stop me because I didn't declare the cash going somewhere. The stories you see on the news of all these immigrant people, oh, they come in here, they don't leave. No, they try to leave, but how do they get the cash home? I'm gonna tell you how. One way is hard assets. Rique Suave wearing watches and gold and different things in their suitcase, or they're sending money home through Western Union. Or when I worked with several Hispanic people at different locations, they own 2, 3 homes back home. And I was like, how? How do you own so many homes? They're like, well, honey, the home is only $30,000. So that means they've been working in America. And because of their status, they really can't do much, but they have to go find somewhere for what? Their money to be what? In a hard asset. Now, they already left their kids sometimes with their family back home. So now if they buy this house, right? Now they're going to buy 3 houses and they have cars at home. What happens the day she decides she wants to leave America and get out of here? She can go back to Mexico or El Salvador or wherever and what? Have an established hard assets. Come back home and big whoever back home. Correct or correct, right? So what you're seeing right now is the effects of when traditional banking is done. When people like me and other business owners I know, and you can go all over the space, when Lending Club for the and y'all missed that whole thing of Lending Club. Lending Club been out for freaking 12 years almost, and they're so big now they sold to an actual bank. But you have that was the original kind of fintech, right? That like, hey, bump the banks. I'll give a loan to you, and you'll pay me. Why do people keep up with their loans? Because majority of people on Lending Club and Prosper realize I'm gonna move money around. This is how money moves around, and this is how we stick it to the bank, right? Without saying the cuss words. When you have capital controls that limit how much money you can, I can't leave the country with a certain amount of money. I can only put a $1,000 check in the bank. If I take more than $9,000 at the bank is gonna report me. Joe Biden was talking about $600 tracking. Oh, you can't use Zelle. Why are we having issues with Cash App and Zelle? Because let's just go there. Atlanta, damn Atlanta scammers, barbershops, hair salons, a lot of folks who are unlicensed, unregulated. I'm gonna tell you like this. I've gotten in trouble a couple times on Cash App because I was paying drivers and paying different people, and the limit is 7,500. And we would hit it, and they'd be like, "Hey, you're locked. What are you doing?" Because honestly, in this economy, why would you be cash apping such a high amount? You dig what I'm saying? If the average person is making $3,000 a month and you sending out $7,000 in a week, okay, that's an automatic flag on the play. You dig what I'm saying? So you have these capital controls in place. And what helped the government to pick it out was like, well, see, look at these unlicensed barbers and hair salon and the dark market and the Craigslist ladies and the booty parties that y'all using Cash App and Zelle, trying to demonize a way for money to move across each other. That's all. That's what that was. Let's just call it what it is. Okay. Now you're gonna say, well, Ericka, if the business owner, which we can go on into this conversation, I've had calls where people have a flea market company and they're making 70, 80K a year and they don't have a regular business banking account. They got PayPal, they got Stripe or something, they got a credit union. And so I realize now, even now with me teaching this channel for so many years, I'm still going to have to put out some trainings or probably like an ebook or something in the spring on, okay, step 1 through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because I can tell y'all for free every day on this internet and y'all won't listen. That just is what it is. Right? And digital products just rule, right? So when I sit here and coach you and talk to you about the 2 ways that you need to be looking at the future of how are you going to be able to get the things you need? Let's just go there. Why are houses so expensive? First, people are going to say inflation. They're going to say hedge funds and all these companies putting money in them. Why are they putting money into them? Because they know you need somewhere to live and you don't want to live in an apartment. Number two, why does China have ghost cities? Because it's a hard asset. They recycled money into real estate because it's a hard asset. These companies are buying whole sections of Austin, 1,000 houses, and turning them into rentals. Why? Because it'll be a neighborhood full of rentals, but the people living in that neighborhood feel like, well, I'm doing better because I ain't in an apartment. I ain't in a project. I'm in a house. My kids come home to a house. And they know you don't have the discipline to save money to buy your own house. So this cycle will repeat, right? Nation of renters kind of thing. It's a hard money. Again, why do people invest in Detroit? I can go spend $50K for a house, get $800 and $900 rent every month if they pay their rent, and get 20% returns on my money. That's essentially what it is. That's it. 20% returns every year on average. That's why when people fuss with, well, how much is the return rate? What is this? What is this? Honey, you put $5,000 into something, you get 1,000 out for the whole year. You've gotten 20% on your money. This whole I'm getting 100% back on my money, that don't exist nowhere. Okay. So again, let's try that again. Hard assets. What are examples of hard assets? The watches, the land, houses, stuff that you can tangibly touch. Why? Because if I've got 100 acres of land, guess what? And I'm struggling. Well, I'm a subdivide some to a bunch of farmers, and they're gonna pay me, and they're gonna farm. I'm gonna turn this over here into an RV park. I'm gonna turn this part over here into a trailer park. I'm gonna turn this part over into something else. And guess what? Each time I did that, I never let go of what? The land. I still own the land. I just put an RV park on it. I still own the land. I just put trailers on it. I still own the land. I turn it to an Airbnb something, right? Tiny home village, a glamping camp, a water something, right? A hobby farm. I still own the land. And where we're going in this economy is you're going to have to be able to track where your money comes in from in a reasonable amount of way. Like, look, this is my business bank account, and money goes into it on a consistent basis. And companies are going to go, number one, that's the worst, merchant cash advance. They're literally seeing how much money you got today. And this is restaurants, stores, businesses, e-commerce. Money's coming in every day, right? So they say, here, we're going to give you $20,000 at crazy interest. Talk about 15-20% interest, crazy crackhead interest. You're going to pay us $100 every day until the loan's paid off, Monday through Friday. Now, most people say, well, shit, I wouldn't take that, Ericka. That's crazy. I would never take that. But what just happened 2020? What just happened to all these restaurants? What just happened to these bakeries, these location stores? If they can't go to the bank and get an unsecured line of credit, right? And let's just go there. They're maybe not as knowledgeable as me or other people to get other options for money. They're going to fall victim to one, merchant cash advances. Okay. Number two, a lot of hard money is in real estate. Now, people say, well, why would anybody do that? That's crazy. They charge in points. They charge a 12% interest. They'll come back and get your property. Because if you really learn the game, and Aaron Clary made a joke the other day talking about frat bro businesses, which he did a good video. But part of what I laugh at is I know actual white dudes that we would call frat bro businesses. And that's exactly what they did. They got just enough money to get that first or second flip, right? Going at the same time. Once that house sold, okay, well now I got 100,000 or 50,000 or a couple thousands of dollars to do the next one and roll it into it. Why? Because certain banking, hard money, private money will invest in what? Hard assets. So as long as you keep that game rolling and you're good at your cash flow management, those dude bros stay in business for years. I mean, I literally went to Jerome Montanello's training in Las Vegas. And honestly, if you build one house a year, there's certain ways that people do it. I'm just gonna go there. And that house sells at the end of the year, you make 50 to 150,000. I tell people that they don't believe me. They're like, "Oh, Ericka, you lying? You making that up?" There is a black man on YouTube named Will Motivation. When he started his channel, he said, yeah, you guys, I buy one house a year. I build it from the ground up with the builder. I partner with them, and then I sell it for about 100. Nobody cared about that when he did it for free. When he talked about it for free on his channel, nobody cared. What they cared is when Will Motivation started bringing out Lambos, and they couldn't do the math. How is he getting Lambos? He just told you he owns a software company and he builds 1 or 2 houses a year. Not physically builds them, partners with the builder and builds them. Okay? Because that's what? Rotating your money into hard assets. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? Did I lose anybody on that? Now I'm gonna show you some slides. Because the other day people were talking bad about Tesla and saying, well, Tesla, it don't make no money. Its space program is about to be bankrupt. And I keep telling y'all, what I realize is a lot of people have not figured out what Tesla is doing. Tesla don't give a shit about no damn cars. They don't care about no damn cars or trucks. If they get the government contract, now let's be very clear, this is what's about to happen. The government can't let Detroit absolutely, completely collapse into the ground. Too much lobbying, too much lobbyist money there. They're going to give a portion of that government contract to the companies in Detroit. That just is what it is. It is what it is. I already know the game plan. That's why when people say, oh, manufacturing going to leave Detroit. No, there's so much lobbying for that to be in there. Y'all don't understand what's going on. Okay? Y'all don't understand what's happening. They're going to get a piece of that contract. Tesla's going to get the other piece of that contract, and maybe one other company, so they can act like they're being fair in the government of who's getting that contract, and they're not playing favorites because Elon don't want to play along all the time. So you dig what I'm saying? So they're gonna teach him a lesson. They're gonna break that contract up. He's not gonna get all the contracts for when the government wants to replace all those cars with electric vehicles. It's just not gonna happen. Okay, so Tesla already knows that. Tesla moved here from California to build this ridiculous size warehouse to build chips and all kind of stuff. And people say, well, they're only paying $35,000. I don't know why y'all think on God's green earth that you think people working in warehouses should be making $100,000 a year. I don't know where y'all have gotten this delusion. This is not 1950s. You're not gonna get $100,000. I don't give a damn if you live. They don't care if you got to drive an hour to work, and you live an hour outside of Austin. You're gonna get paid $35,000 a year because that's what that's worth. Point blank. Period. Now they're building those factories. I'm telling you what they're gonna do. They're gonna start making them chips. All right, you already know. And I'm giving a rough answer to this, an overview, simpleton answer. They're gonna be building chips, and they're gonna be worried about solar power because there's going to be money in the government still nudging everybody to do the green energy thing. All around the world, they're like, we got to close these power plants. We got to close them down. Okay, you do realize that 85% of our energy comes from coal. When you complain about your light bill right now, imagine how your light bill going to be when we close more of these coal manufacturing places. It's going to be out of control. Who can afford solar power right now? Honestly, Obama had a lot of incentives. I think the bill Biden just put through got some incentives. People who own their house. Let me say that again. People who own their house will be the people who will be incentivized to get solar power. I'm telling you right now, as a person who lives in Texas, goes to conferences, interacts with business owners, there are young men 25 to 30 years old starting solar power companies in Houston and Dallas, and they're making $1 million to $2 million a year, and they don't even know how they're doing it. They literally just run around knocking doors like crazy. They're like a bunch of wholesalers, just run around knocking doors like somebody gonna buy it. And it does work. But wait till Elon gets up in this bitch. It's gonna be insane. So he's already building where it can store the power at your house. That's the number one complaint. I'm sending this power to the energy company. What about if there's a storm, if there's an issue? How do I get this power? They are making those battery packs. There's a giant Tesla on them that stick up to the side of your house, inside or in the garage or outside, and it stores the power. Mark my words, it's 2021. Write this down. I'm not the first person to say this. I will not be the last. You guys will see more of this in the future. This is what's coming. This is what's coming. Okay. So if individual, goofy, young, silly, young men running around knocking doors can make $1 million to $2 million a year with solar panel companies, and I don't mean no MLM bullshit. I mean, I'm talking about an actual starting from scratch, middleman to million style, making all his friends knock doors, solar panel companies, and they're not installing them. They're just getting the contracts. What do you think happens when Elon really takes over Texas? And you saw what Texas just experienced with the snow. right? So a lot of people finally were like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a generator, or I'm gonna get solar panels because this happened and this happened." Okay, well, how you gonna store the power? Tesla. Mark my words on it. Again, why am I talking about this? Because these are all hard assets. If I own a house, the number one thing I'm doing is how can I make this house so efficient? It's the solar panels, it's storing the power. I'm gonna buy a Tesla, an energy efficient video because gas is gonna be crazy. OPEC's gonna act stupid in a few years. I'm gonna I'm gonna bet my hedges. I've talked to too many tech folk. I'm betting my hedges. I'm gonna buy those vehicles, even if I don't use them that often. I'm gonna buy them. I'm gonna keep my gas car, but I'm gonna still have that option. Okay. Now you're gonna say, okay, what does it got to do with banking again? Again, let's go here. This is the financial inclusion. I hope I didn't lose a lot of y'all. I know we 25 minutes in. I know it's a lot of information. Please bear with me. Thank you, Kelly Thomas, for the super sticker. I want you to understand where am I going and why am I teaching y'all this. When I pull up stuff, this isn't just random. These are studies, okay? These are studies. These are articles. These are deep dive studies. You can go read them for yourself. We ain't reading 100 pages. We're going to look over this thing right here, and you can go back on your own time and study for yourself. Prove thyself so approved, or whatever the Bible verse is. Okay, what is financial inclusion? If I'm a person, okay, let's do it this way. If I'm a person, I'm going to have access to what? A bank account, a way to transfer my funds, financial advice from outside sources, savings account, insurance, and cheaper credit. Did I lose anybody? Does this make sense, what I'm saying to you? The average person doesn't have this. And when I say average person, I mean 55%. Cheaper credit is going to be always credit cards that are like 5%, house mortgage 5%. So the average person you're talking to has subprime credit at 22%, car loans at 22%, credit cards at 22 to 29%, crazy interest rates. So that's what the purple is for cheaper credit. Insurance, reasonable insurance, not shitty insurance, reasonable insurance. Okay. This is something we should be, thank you, Grinch, for the super chat. We should have access to savings. Now, first thing people say was, Ericka, you said savers are losers. Yes, in theory, savers are losers. They're not going to get any return on their money. If your money's not moving, it's dead money. I think Wall Street Trapper just said a couple of days ago, and I laughed because I've been saying that for a long time. Savers are losers, okay? And if your money's not moving, it's dead. I remember getting on the phone the past 3 years arguing with bankers. They're like, well, you got to keep more money in your account. You got to keep 2, 3, 4, 5,000 in the account. And I was like, for what? Dead money is non-working money. And they laughed because they said, you're right. Now think about that. They know what I'm saying is right. They know what I'm saying is right. They agree with me. They're laughing with me. But because of some metrics in their system, they can't do anything. Again, the past 2 years, I keep telling y'all, I would go around and talk to bankers about, hey, this is my business. This is how it's made all this money. You've got to be able to give me a loan. And they would be like, oh, honey, I love this. I love your business. I love how much money you've made. This is amazing. But guess what? I can't get the loan. And I would go, what? I can't because this and this metric and your NACA code is this and trucking's high interest and this is high interest and these are dangerous, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Right? So I had and I'll just, for example, I'm partnered with someone. Careful, I have to be careful here. I'm partnered with somebody and the e-commerce store made a meal. Now we didn't take home a meal because we didn't know what it was doing and we sent a lot on ads. So make that very clear. We ain't take that. That was not take home because I would be living like I'd be tripping. Okay. So anyway, we didn't take home on that one business that I'm partnered with somebody with. And it's really 60-40. They're really the 60. I'm really the 40. Now, our our little joint phone line at phone.com is bloated full of voicemails. I mean, every day that bad boy is just ringing, 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 ringing. And it's like, hey, even when you go on nav.com, we see it for it. It says, hey, your business grossed $1 million. And there are just hundreds of financiers just trying to talk to you. Now we get on phone with people. They're like, hey, guess what? We're a merchant cash advance. We're like, why would we take you? That's an awful interest rate, like 25% interest rate. It's terrible records. We can get a Stripe loan for this. This is crazy. because they know people have bad money management. They know even though somebody's a business owner, if they don't got payroll on Friday, people gonna tear that office up. You saw when I had Eric Coffee on here, and he was like, I didn't have payroll, and it was making me nervous because you know how people will tear an office up if they know payroll. So sometimes people are taking these MCAs under distress. Okay, so let's just go there. And a lot of people aren't stacking or laddering their income, laddering their opportunities. This is again where hard assets come in. Okay, does that make sense? I'm losing anybody? I hope I'm not. Now I'm gonna go to the next slide because I want you to understand that the other day somebody asked, if you, what did he ask? He asked DJ the Money Coach, how do you have the courage to keep opening up businesses after 8 failed? And I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you, I've just sat in too many rooms with people who are breathing through their mouth on a daily basis, like slow, and they literally had one credit card and they literally hired a person to make the phone calls and the other guy fulfilled it and they have a business. I when you really meet the business owners of some of these companies, you really be like, damn, like my parents should have added us up on some more money, but this is crazy, right? When you really meet some of these business owners and the children of these business owners, like when you really meet, we had a friend who just wasn't doing well in school. He was half Asian and he just didn't do well in school. I don't know if he's dyslexic or what's the problem. And his mom was like, "You're not going to school." Like we were all getting ready to go to East Carolina. He's like, "Listen," she was like, "Listen, you're not going to school. You barely passed high school. You're not smart. But what we're gonna do is get you a shop over here." And I'm gonna tell you right now, off Bragg Boulevard, I think off Raleigh Road, or is it Raleigh Road? In Fayetteville, North Carolina, whole boy had a little shop. You come into the front, want a lot in it. You're like, what is this shit? In the back, he had all this stuff set up where he was selling on eBay and putting stuff online before when it was new, right? When he was just getting, eBay was really the thing, and then Amazon started to be the thing. And he made killer money all year. Never had a job for somebody. Literally, mom took her flea market money, got the store location for very cheap. It's Fayetteville, it was cheap at the time. Set up the back so he have racks and stuff to put his stuff up on. And instead of him having to be at the flea market like she was on the Saturday and Sundays, he could be in his little shop Monday through Friday, boxing and mailing and selling things. And that boy's been in business since what, 20 years now? Shit. When we graduated high school? Almost 20 years. Almost. Never been to school. He kept trying to take classes here and there. We like, why are you taking classes? Yeah, I'm struggling. I just want to take some classes here and there. Like, okay. That is the difference. And when people talk about frat bro culture and business culture, when I teach the Middleman to Millions course, I've sat in rooms with people. That's what they did. It's not that complicated. Only you guys are making it that complicated because you don't want to have the responsibility of taking care of somebody else. And trust me, I know the stress of not having your payroll on Friday and people looking at you crazy. Like, what do you mean you got my payroll? I've been there. It sucks. It's the worst. It's the worst. Absolute worst. And this is part of why. Thank you for the super chat, Brass. This is why I keep showing y'all this because I want you to be ahead of the curve. I don't want you in 5 years working for somebody that you think is dumb. I don't want you having to go to jobs that you hate, almost about to just wreck your car because you can't stand going to work. I don't want you having to go back into offices when you really need to spend that time with your children. And this is why I'm talking about the topics I talk about. Everybody else out here on YouTube bullshitting and cutting up, and I'm cool with that. Make your money because digital is the future. Diamond Dave is right. We are on the third wave where video is everything, but don't get it twisted. If you're in my digital real estate class, 2.0 is still making money. Blogs are still making money. Trust and believe. Don't get it twisted. And the reason why is because we still have 55% of us in America where the TV is access and the phone is right in your damn hand. They're still unbanked. So if you're in the make money space, if you're in the get your coins up space, if you're in the learn something space, don't listen to nobody talking bad about your business because listen to me. There are still so many people don't even have a bank account. They out there going to the corner bodega cashing checks. They just learned about debit cards or prepaid cards or Chime or all these other accounts because you've talked about it on your YouTube channel. So don't let people out here talk bad about your business because there's so many of us who are not even educated. We don't even have bank accounts. Y'all, this ain't just black people in the inner city. This is Asian people. This is white people. This is whoever. 55% of Americans, okay, undered. This is why you have this crypto craze, because they realize I'm way outside the system. I ain't even got a steady bank account, but I want to talk about crypto. Shit's crazy. So I'm gonna go there. Here's another one. This is called Unbanked.com. Okay. We believe that financial access and control is fundamental human right enabled through blockchain. Now think about this. Who are they talking to? Who are they talking to? Bank Without Borders. 200 countries. They're talking to, and I'm gonna tell you an example. I went to, and I know y'all hate my examples, but I went to the bank. The young man to the right of me wanted send a wire to Japan. Was it Japan or was it Korea? It was Japan, but he was African. I'm gonna just go there. Let's just really go there. He's African. He's talking about what he's trying to do, and he's like, "I'm buying a car for my mom." Um, one in Japan. One of them was in Japan working. He's like, "I'm buying a car for her because she wants to be a driver in Japan." The bank, while I'm there being nosy, that's right, your girl was being hella nosy. They're giving him a hard time about. They're like, "Well, do you know who you're wiring money to? Is this okay? Is this safe?" It was a dealership in Japan. Like this was no sketchy business. But I feel like there was a little bit of discrimination because he was African and he's explaining himself clearly. He's got all the documentation. He's got a picture of his mom's ID card from Japan. He's got all these steps, and they literally got a manager tomorrow. We got to talk to you in the back room. This man just want to send, I think it was like $9,000. I was being nosy, but I don't know the exact number. I think it was $9,000. And the bank was giving him a hard time. This is who this appeals to. You're not gonna stop me from sending money to my mother in another country who's also a immigrant worker in another country like I am, right? If that's his case, from her buying a damn car. I don't care what she want to use the money for. I don't care if she want to buy an apartment. What she want to buy in Japan? That's not your damn business. None of that's your business. Send my damn money. It's my money. Send it. Okay. So this is who this is appealing to. And if you know anything about history, which not most people do, but if you go look up the Somalia conflicts and the pirate Somali thing going on, a lot of that came out of overfishing waters by the Japanese. Okay, let's just go there. And two, the United States, George Bush, because they would not take Western Union in their country, they declared the system they had as a terrorist. So you sending money home to your cousins in Somalia every week like clockwork, and all of a sudden George Bush on TV talking about that's a terrorist organization. And now it's shut down and you can't send money to it. This is the whole wild west of decentralization of banking. So again, check this out. Again, you earn 6.3% in rewards when you spend crypto. I'm not advocating them. I don't even have an affiliate for them, but I just want to show y'all they gonna open up these doors, because we here in America crying about how hard America is, and these people can't even send money home to their mamas. They can't even go see their parents for years at a time. And we mad because we might have to work a job and actually not be remote. It's insane. It's insane. So here is the chart for Unbanked, right? Because a lot of people think it's in the South. We a bunch of damn yokels. The South is at 6.2%. It is the highest. But 5% in the Midwest. So y'all ain't that far behind. 4.9% in the West and 4.7% in the Northwest. Now look on here. Can everybody see? Put a 1 in the chat if you can see, because I don't want to hear no crying that I couldn't see something. Okay? Digital is the future. IRS is doing the most. Fintech is the future. Yeah, fintech is the present. They do. Listen, I'm not even joking to you, Mr. Dreyfus. I was gonna buy a house with a friend. We are not married. He's a man. I'm a woman. He's white. I'm black, blackish. More than one thing, but he literally we were gonna sign on dotted line to buy this house, and I was gonna rent all the rooms out and live there. Because that is seriously what all the Christian folks in this circle I knew were doing. They'd buy a house, immediately rent all the rooms out. And I didn't have enough. And he was like, "Well, I'll give you the down payment. You just split me half of whatever you make off the rents." It wasn't even a question. We ain't getting together. We just friends. Trust me. Okay. Thank you, Cassandra's Clutch. Cash App your girl. It is. Oh, thank you. Survive. So survive, thrive, and be generous. Be generous. So let me go ahead. Okay, let me finish what I'm saying here. All right, because I know I'm way behind on the chat, but we got to focus on this. So this is the unbanked. Louisiana, Mississippi, unfortunately, will always be high up on the hill. Always. Mississippi's at 12%, 13%, because you got to realize they're still dealing with some dumb yokels down there, even to open a bank account. Then you got here for 11 point. Basically, both of these are 12 and 13%. Now look up here at Connecticut, 8%, super high up north. Tennessee, 8%. Oklahoma, 8%. 8% New Mexico. North Carolina is 3%. Like if you in North Carolina, ain't no reason not to have no bank. They got banks on banks on banks on banks on banks on every corner, every inch, everything. Now in some of these areas, why is Nebraska got a high bank? Why in Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, okay, Minnesota, Iowa. These are high foreign populations as well, just to let you know. Utah, okay. The Mormons said we're gonna put this money in this bank, okay. Um, but I want you to understand. Look at that. These are people who are unbanked. I mean, they ain't got no bank. Now, there's a difference between underbanked. Now, if you do underbanked, it just means people who, they have access to Walmart. Where the map at? Is it gonna pull up? I hate it. I hate it. Unbank is in nationally is 6%. Underbank is 16%. That means your cousin Benny and them, they may have a PayPal card, they may have some stuff, but they don't have a solid banking thing, right? And then this is the fully banked, okay? Now this is Investopedia. You can go study this at your own time. This is right here. Atwent is a blog. Y'all don't realize these companies out here blogging and you reading it. But let's just go. I'm gonna leave that alone. We ain't gonna go there again. The world's unbanked, right? So there's gonna be all this money in space and what? Reason you're gonna have, and I'm not gonna ruin the example again, but go watch if you can get it. Dr. Alex Meir talk about at the Real Estate Domination 2021 conference about the future of how they're gonna put these houses in blockchain. But tokens, I don't want to ruin it because I'm killing it. I'm ruining it. But guess what? You still gonna need to own that property to be able to do it. So again, it gets back to having the hard asset. Because even when we reset it so that more people can put their money into it from other countries, again, I don't want to lose the conversation. Next thing, all right, 27. This is a report. This is a full report. China has the largest world's unbanked population, followed by India. So 225 million adults in China ain't got no account. That's why the social credit system is so important. Because they're literally still going old school style, getting their money. Okay, India 190 million, Pakistan 100 million. They still marrying their first cousins, even when they come to UK. They still marry their first cousins. They have the highest rate of issues with the children, and also issues in London. Lots of violence. Indonesia 95 million. Now you always talking about Bali on TV, but you forgetting all the other parts of Indonesia where they look just like me, and they got issues over there. Okay, Mexico, Bangladesh, all those other ones. But you can check this out. This is a report. This is from 2017. You see, the United States still got our dot because we have a lot of people. Okay. Again, this is another one. This is worldbank.org. And what's the holdup in getting people on digital currency, on a new money, a new world order? Well, we can't even get your ass to the bank. So, I mean, for them to think that we got to get this new world order, you can't, you have people in the bank. You don't even have them up there. So anyway, 59% of adults are underbanked in the world. All over. 55% men, 47% women. I know. Oh, I know. Winter's coming for women, but education, income, all of it. You can go check all this stuff out for yourself. Check it all out for yourself. Going mobile. Now, this is Africa. Pay attention. 6% of sub-Saharan African, where traditional banking has been hampered by transportation and corruption. They ain't putting that in there. Mobile banking has expanded. If I was a person wanting to make billions of dollars, where would I focus my attention in my future? In Africa. If I was a bank, or I wanted to become the next Alibaba, where would I make it? In Nigeria. In Africa. If I wanted to really make money as a bank, why would I even be looking at America anymore? Nah, I'd be in Africa. And here's the thing, and I'm not trying to make fun of hoteps, but I have to. You going over to Africa with nothing but your money in your pocket and dreams of hooking up, you're gonna be sadly mistaken. I'm gonna go where the women respect me. You're gonna go over there and you're gonna be broken, you're gonna be dusty, and you're gonna come back home. Let me just tell you right now. These are actual countries. Go actually look them up. They're not like some hole in the wall place you're gonna come with $500 and act like you're gonna do something. You got people from India and China coming down there marrying them women to open up businesses. India, where they don't like dark skinned people, they are the uncaste system. They're going to Africa and open up businesses and marrying them chicks and living a whole life there, like the Chinese are doing in Jamaica. Okay, so just pay attention. Sub-Saharan Africa, not that top row where France got their fingers all in it, but that bottom part. And you can read more on that on your own time. I can't. All right, let me see. That's what I had. That's what I had. I'm gonna save the other thing for tomorrow. Let me read some of y'all comments because I know you got them. There's 500 people here. It's 46 minutes in. I know you got comments, but let's go over some of them at least. Again, Rolex watch, artwork is the OG of money laundering. When you go look up, prime example, when you look up Hitler, why are all these documentaries on Hitler? Because Hitler had all this art from all these countries he stole. Same thing with Europe. They stole all this art out of Africa. In order, and I'm messing it up a little bit, but go watch some of the documentaries. They had to pay Hitler's family. They had to pay them. When they came back and confiscated that art, they had to pay those people. Hitler's children, even though they've changed, not his children, but his niece and his cousin and somebody else who had to get paid off this, they changed their name because they could, and the rule of thumb is Europe, you can't name any child Hitler. It's illegal, or anything Nazi related is illegal. They changed their name. They had to pay those people millions of dollars to this day. Now there's an account somewhere. Magically, the Swiss keep acting like they don't know where it's at. We don't know where it's at. Where Hitler put all this money in this Swiss account and they just can't seem to find it. His family to this day, cousins and nieces and whoever's, hey man, look, y'all gonna have to give us that money. Stop playing with us, Swiss. We know that bank is out there. Now, what's the rule of thumb? I think it's like 70 plus years and no activity, no connection, no finding it. You can the bank basically can have the money. That account's worth billions. That account's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And they like stop playing with us about the money. Now I might get a copyright strike for mentioning his name, but I ain't worried about it because I want y'all to understand the importance of art. Art, even though it was stolen, they had to prove stuff was stolen and take it back from them. That's why they have all these documentaries because they had to be like, yo, that's that country's, that's Poland's, that's this. Well, can you prove it? If not, you gotta pay us for it. A lot of money. OG is money is art laundering. That's why whenever I see Jay-Z and these rappers show, look at this art I got from some black guy you ain't never heard of for 150,000. I go, okay. Show me another painting that black guy sold for that much. Nowhere. Nowhere. Dang, is it that bad, Sancho's clutch? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry about that. They out here tripping. But that's just it. The whole America is distributing capital controls. Exactly. It ain't there. U.S. Marine vet was driving his kids home cross country and got stopped. 87,000 C's. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Listen, I told y'all that PPP was the watershed moment when they had billions of dollars. I mean, fintechs were like on the phone. Hey, what can we do for you right now? Give me your paperwork. I'll send it to you right now. Get you PPP in 3 days. Boom. Banks were like, well, this is John at the bank. It might take 2 more weeks. Send me your other paper. Show me this is your business. And when I went to Frost Bank, several of the banks, they were like, oh, we hate this. We hate PPP. We hate even doing the paperwork. We just hate it. We only get 1% off of it. And I'm like, $1 billion is going through your bank and you hate it? That's me. Banking is done. Traditional banking is done. The PPP showed you more than ever traditional banking was done. So then the government said, well, it was so much fraud going on. We're gonna go around. We're not gonna use fintechs as much. We're gonna make the fintechs wait 2 weeks and let the traditional banks start first with the second round. Guess what? Didn't matter. Didn't matter. Banks were still slow. Still slow. I mean, I'm telling y'all the horror stories of people dealing with bank. Like, I literally went online. One of the fintechs I was working with one of my companies, because several of my companies got a PPP. People think they slick and like, I found your company got PPP. Several of my companies did. Good luck finding them all. One of them, I was going through a fintech and it was slow. I said, what the hell's going on? It's been 2 weeks. I commented and complained right up on Yelp. And they were like, hey. Call me the next day. Hey, take that down. We found your account right now. We're tracking it right now. It's coming in 2 days, 48 hours. And I was like, well, damn, that's fast. They literally had people on staff watching for complaints, watching. Better Business Bureau, all of it, Yelp, all of it. Like, hey, because it was a lifeline of their money. You were fucking with their money. They are trying to be legitimate and legitimizing this system where they don't want fintechs to survive. So they have the incentive to give you good customer service. Wells Fargo don't care if you come in there mad. Bank of America don't come in there if you mad. Comerica, any of them. Shit, even some of these Texas banks that are still small, they don't care. Frost Bank don't care if I'm mad. They can be like, okay, what you want us to do? Well, we're real sorry about that. Sorry about you. I'm telling you, the what we saw with the PPP was when fintechs took over. When the government is like, woo, we got to slow these fintechs down. Do you think the fintechs cared if tens of billions of dollars went through their account and they got 1% on it? They don't care. You can be mad all day. Boom, there you go. There you go. Craigslist killer. Yep, Craigslist killer. That was one of the reasons too. I'm telling you, Tommy, I'm meeting several people through phone calls, consultations, events, conferences where they done bought multiple things at home. Multiple. Yes, the Cash App. And this is why, the banks are so mad, because Cash App is literally, they got a debit card. What's another one that does really well? Blue Vine was one of the fintechs making billions. Okay, they sent out like all of them. You can pretty much get a card from almost all of them. Yeah, because that's the people paying for their lobbyists. No, I don't. I wouldn't deal with crypto. I wouldn't do it. So why do you think the government continues to prop up fractional reserve banking system? Honestly, Terry, they have to. America is the cleanest shirt. Okay, let's say you have dirty laundry, and men and women know this. You'll have some shirt that's like, that shirt stank. That's got to be washed. And that other shirt is dirty, but I was only at the club an hour. I'm gonna put it back on. That is America. We're the slightly funky shirt. And if we do any massive change, we become unstable. Which is again, we're printing up a crazy amount of money. But when we start printing up this amount of money in a week, that's the sign. I'm gonna just say that like that. That's your sign to freak out. Listen, I had to Edmund Carter as well. I said, listen, we ain't cash apping no more. We ain't even going through Walmart. They out here looking at me like I'm crazy in Walmart, probably reporting me every day to daggone whoever, who knows. You gonna get a bank account. And then they went and got damn Chime. It's ghetto. The ghetto. Because then our bank didn't want to deal with Chime. They're like, we ain't wiring shit to Chime. They better get a real bank. This whole reset will bring everyone with cell phone access and not bank access into the e-economy. Listen, why am I teaching my digital real estate course? Diamond Dave did a great job earlier where people were like, oh, these people making money off courses. Yeah. And guess what? They're going to continue to. They're going to continue to, because think about, I just said we have 55% of people unbanked. Underbanked. Let's be clear. 16% are underbanked. 5% are 6% on average unbanked. And this is with all this access in banks everywhere. Now, let's take it a step further. It's really 55% in this weird space, especially in New York, where people are going to corner stores and bodegas and they're going to cash checking places, but they really aren't banked. That's not having a bank. So if these people with all this technology and all this information, everything around, they ain't even got a damn bank. Okay. What makes you think this person's well read and well educated and knows how to do other stuff? They don't. This is why I don't advocate when people say, well, teach it for free. I've taught it for free for years on YouTube. They don't care until they have to pay, put money on it. That's all. That's all. Let's just go there. I love that. Y'all don't know I love that phrase. Let's just go there. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt. Lightstream. Yep. Lightstream was another one of them. They did a lot of loans. My father has 20 acres of land. We sublease as well. I'm telling you, that's essentially what you are. That's what you are. Affirm, Afterpay. Listen, I would be here all night if I listed the hundreds of alternative banking methods. Like if I literally type in fintech right now, let me see if I can go do it. Just the word fintech. Right? If I go fintech companies, I see. Good gracious. So I typed in fintech just to see what it would do. There's 59 companies that they list are the top best. Now this means there's a crazy amount of them, right? And even on this list, I don't believe this list at all. Hold on, let me see. Where the list at? Good gracious. Okay, just I'm not even sharing my screen. I don't care. Robinhood, Chime, Affirm, JP Morgan Chase, which is still a big dog, PitchBook, Avant, Braintree, Morningstar, Acorns. Okay, we talked about that years ago. Blend, Gravity Payments, Remitly, which is how I pay my overseas VAs and my overseas workers that I got from O'Shea Duke Jackson. Clyde, Digital, Flyware. What's some more? True Accord. I mean, I'm not gonna read all these, but just to give you an example, like just in that space of time where we have access to the computer and we just looked it up, I'm telling you, if you have people that can't figure out getting a bank account, and you talk, well, Ericka, why are you teaching them a course? Because they don't have enough skills yet. That's why. It's just they ain't reading. They ain't got no skills. I mean, Aaron Clary is tougher than I am. He'll say, if you make under 30,000 a year, you ain't got no career. I won't say that because I know there's school teachers that make that or close to it. But he says it. He goes, if you're making 30K, you don't have a career. Have a job. Will motivation. That's what I'm telling you. Listen, when Will motivation, yep, he made a social media platform. He did some other software stuff, and nobody paid attention till Will motivation started driving Lambos. He literally taught you, hey, I do a few things a year that make me $500,000 a year. And I don't want to be so harsh, but I have to say this. When I talk to people, I say either you're going to get a high paying job, and when I say high paying, I mean 75,000 to 150,000 a year job, or you're going to own a business. Everything else, it's like, good luck. Own your home at least. Because there's some people like, well, my husband makes 60 and I stay at home and I'm a stay at home mom. I'm glad you own your home, honey. Because that's the only way that's going to make it next 10 years. Listen, and they really keep talking smack about Elon. I'm like, he didn't come here from South Africa to build cars. Don't get it twisted. That's not what it is. Facts on facts. Thank you. Tesla is a tech company, not a car company. That's what I'm saying. You know, what they think you're gonna be making as a factory worker. This ain't your grandpa day where he made 50, 60. Even in Alabama, they make 50, 60, which is high. And they work at BMW and what's that other one? Mercedes Benz and this other place down there. But it does, Roscoe, when you live here in Texas, where we have 300 plus days of sunshine, hardcore sunshine, huge. Them in Colorado. Colorado's another 300 days sunshine, but it's cold with the sun out in Colorado. Powerwall. Thank you so much. That's the word. Carbon toe. Listen. This is how crazy this is. Go on American Greed and look up the episode of the black man buying carbon who was selling carbon offsets. I mean, it was a whole American Greed show. He was doing it out of his damn garage, y'all. And people were finally some people were like, "Wait a minute, where is this coming from?" And research has come out of this man's garage, y'all. Listen, if I want to learn about a business model or a niche, I go and watch American Greed. Some dumbass will always try to scam inside the niche, and that's how I learned about different companies. Like I didn't even know the boating money issue they was having out there, right? Because boats are what a hard asset. So you got all these knuckles down in I'm gonna call them knuckles in Florida buying boats. Well, how would they get the money to buy the boats? Because boats ain't cheap, baby. They go call up all these little banks in Kansas and the Midwest and nowhere towns where it ain't up but a bunch of farmers and they got money in the bank, and they say, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to buy this boat, and this is what I do with my boat business. I rent the boats out this many days a week, yada yada." Well, the Kansas people were like, "These are amazing numbers. Yes, here's your check." And on American Greed, one dude was out there. He bought maybe 2 boats, maybe 1 boat, and the rest of the money he was just pocketing and making fake receipts and all kind of stuff, just living the life, la vida loca. And the small town banks were like, "We can't believe he lied to us." And it's like the crazy. And so when I want to learn a business industry and see where they go wrong, because most businesses are very boring and cyclical, I watch American Greed. I go, "Yeah, you dumb. They was gonna catch you. You dumb." Y'all, I promise you, my nose is running because I went to the gym and I feel like everybody was sick in there. Not because I'm snorting anything. Okay, just the nose is running. Okay. Lit. Thank you so much. Study to show thyself approve. You should only save the pivot. Like, there's a big thing about pivoting. I would love to go on a rant, but I can't. No, I'm not going to tell you to do that anywhere. I want you to study, educate yourself, but I want you to have some art assets. Pay attention. Go Google watches. I'm not even joking, y'all. There's a huge market up where people are buying these watches, and I'm storing this 20 grand in this watch. Well, why would you need to store 20 grand in a watch? Because the banking is what? Dead. Why leave 20K in the bank? It's not going to get me nothing. Why did the Torino app take off so much? That whole course selling Torino thing. Yes, because of STEMI, but mainly because the bank would only give people loans for cars. They won't give them a loan for the house. They won't give them a loan for this other stuff. So when this guy was like, "Well, Ericka, that's stupid. You know, the average guy, even if he has 3 or 4 cars, he's only making like 5K a month gross with Torino app." And I tell him, "Listen, it's not about the Torino app. Get over that. It's about the fact that now this young man has a business on paper with 4 or 5 hard assets. Now he can leverage that business on paper, one, to pay himself payroll, W-2, okay? And then on top of that, go buy a home. Because the bank can't say nothing now because you have a business and the W-2s and the stubs to buy. And if all else fail, a collateral. Again, there's a million ways. Coding Everly, if you're in my Rise of 20% class, we have several people coming there talking about different NACA codes that are very high risk. We've had at least 4 of our business credit people come in there and talk about it. So if you want access to that information, you can go grab that course. You can go grab that course. You can grab that course. You can grab the old bundle. It gives you all the courses. So, you know what I mean? I really just don't have any discounts for everybody anymore. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Money is a traditional savings account over time. It's worth less eventually. Well, thank you so much, Jerry Italy. My other brother does live on the West Coast. He lives in Seattle. Listen, come on, Each Sense. When people ask, how do you keep starting a business when the previous ones failed? You keep telling them the same way you keep applying for jobs when they failed to get hired at jobs. I'm telling you, listen, when you really, and the problem is a lot of people don't have any excess cash flow. Money is tight, and I understand that. But I'm gonna tell you like this: I've had people say, "Well, oh man, can I get a refund on this course or that course?" Like I had something happen, emergency happen. Boo boo, go get in your car and Uber for the weekend because the refund on the course ain't gonna give you what you need. Your cash flow is fucked up. Like this is what it is. You need to go make more income, and that's why I keep saying this on this channel because I know it drives y'all crazy. But if $100, $50, $200, $500 throws you in a loop, you have to go make more income. You just have to. And one of the ways you're going to understand when I talk about Unwrapped We Were Sent this week coming up, and also the other courses, is you have to produce something. You have to produce. If you're not going to buy a house, you're not going to have a high paying job, you need to either have something you produce and sell, or you can give to others. It just is what it is. I see too many people who live to lift weights and do nothing all day, having a business, and I'm looking at them like, you got a business for 10 years? It's crazy. I mean, it's out there, but it's other stuff. They do have the car hustle. I was being hella nosy. I was like the nosy. My neck was about to be up on top of his neck. Like, what is going on? It's none of their business. It really is. Yep, I experienced the same thing when I was wiring from New York City to GA. I've been banking with this bank for years. Yeah, they real nosy. And again, Georgia has its issues, but it's like, I'm gonna send it where I'm gonna send it. There you go. I mean, this is the thing. This is why I'm telling you. I'm like, when people ask for deeper information, now, I'm like, listen, I've taught it for free for years. You want the deep stuff? You want the step by step by step? Go get the course. I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. That's just all it is. Hiring people sells me behind belief. So here's even the thing about hiring people. There's called E&O insurance, errors and omission insurance. If somebody at your job act up, cut up, steal stuff, do craziness, guess what? You got insurance, and it's like $100 a month, if that. I'm telling. Look, Regina just told y'all. I live in Oklahoma, and yes, a lot of people here don't even do banks. And this is why when people argue with me about high value and all this silly stuff, you're not even in the room with high value people. Get the shit out of here. Like stop it. Okay, there was a banquet this coming up next weekend, but I'm gonna leave out of town for my family vacation. That's why y'all better get me next week, or that's it for the year. Um, the banquet's like $1,000 a ticket. And he had reached out, "Hey, you coming to the banquet?" I looked up, I said, $1,000. Where are we going? I said, "Well, I'm out of town anyway. But that is the norm. And so when people start out here with this high value conversation and shit, I'm like, y'all, please let that go. If you ain't been making 100 bands for the past 5 years straight, and then associations, I've got friends in associations that, I mean, it's amazing. Like, I'm like, that's amazing. But what are you talking about? You don't even know what you're talking about. It's just crazy. That's why when I hear people that talk about high value and they don't even have a business, man, hush. Well, I'm a doctor. Doctors are okay, but guess what? Go Google doctors being bankrupt. There's a ton of them. You'll get articles all day about doctors being bankrupt. There's a reason. I think John mentioned them here about the white coat investor website. Oh, or we had Dr. Meadows over here talking about money as a doctor, how they're making this money, but they don't know what to do with it. So people don't even know the terms they're using. Yes. Listen, Xanatos Clutch is bringing up a point that I love beating y'all up with. I don't agree with Tone Talks on a lot of things, 99% of things. But the problem is we have bias in the system. And when you talk to white people, they're like, I've never been treated like that. You've never been treated like that. I've literally sat at two incidents I can think of. I sat at a credit repair conference, and one of the older white dudes stood up and he was so angry. He was like, I'm working my butt off and my clients aren't getting results. And I don't know if it's the zip code I'm in or because they're black or what is it? Because I'm doing the same thing for people across town and it's working. There's bias in the system. If a zip code you live in is very poor, high crime, these banks ain't playing. They ain't slick. They're not offering credit cards and different services to you. So that's why fintech, blockchain, all this stuff. There's several articles talking about how Hispanic food vendor owners are using blockchain. They'll put 10,000 in, ask for, a $7,000 loan back out, right? And it's a way their money's protected, and also they get the money right back, basically. Um, and they get future loans. And there's a lot that you guys don't understand is happening, but it's happening fast. But there is a lot of racial prejudice in the system. I went to banks and heard older white men be like, I don't understand why I can't get you approved. Other than your age, you being so young, but you have all the markers, you have all the business years, you have the numbers. I don't understand who's disapproving this higher up than me. So that's why I started going to very small banks where I could meet the vice president here in Austin, or I could meet the president. And they'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, shit, I think that's cool." Blah blah blah. Or, "Hey, yes or no? I'll start you out with 15 grand or 20 grand." Right? So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. There you go. Silver. I told y'all for years I've been giving my nephews silver. They hate it. They hate it. But that's what I do. I give them silver. China's got that social credit. Shea butter. I'm telling you, this is the thing. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this delicately. The reason I'm teaching this digital real estate course is because there's a lot of anger at people who are on YouTube and different places creating content. They're like, they're crappy. Okay, we're in the third wave. This video thing, even though a lot of y'all hate being on video, you don't even have to be on video. You can be in podcast format. Is where the money's going to be made. It's where the transaction dollars are going to be moving. You got people here on YouTube ain't never made 100 grand in their life, and they just got on YouTube and made 100 grand. Take that as you will. Take that as you will. I ain't talking shit. I'm just saying. And when you have a person like me who's made it offline, and then or even when I was in trucking, and I'm like, okay, you made $1 million in trucking, but you only get to keep 10% of it. You made $1 million over here, you got to keep 89% of it. We're gonna do this. That's why when people talk, why are people selling courses? Why are they coaching people? Why are they doing this? Why is Tony Robbins filling up stadiums? Why is Lewis House got the hottest podcast online? Why is Joe Rogan get paid 100 million by Spotify? Come on, y'all. Get out of here. Get out of here with this craziness. Get out of here. It's silly season. You only question it when it's looking like this. You only oh, they must be sketchy. They must be scamming. They must be doing something sketchy when it looks like this. Just to tell the truth, shame the devil. Yep. Gotta be quicker than that. Artwork. Mm-hmm. He was. Thank you. Thank you. His family is definitely around, and it's like even illegal to take pictures of them. I think one of the nieces, she was somewhere, and it was like literally the paparazzi like got arrested. You cannot take pictures of them. You cannot take pictures of the family. They've changed their names, and they've been in documentaries. Like they're not physically in the documentary. Like I love how in one of the documentaries they're like, here's his niece who's like 80 years old. Okay, well, she's fighting in court for the money because she has children and grandchildren. Why you ain't showing their faces? So the literally the man's been dead. His family and his great grand nieces and nephews will be making money off money he stole. Come on, y'all. It's Hitler's family still out there. Fintech in Africa. Listen, look at what Coca-Cola's been doing in Africa. Look at what gas companies are out. There were several African basketball players went over to Africa and opened up like 20, 30 gas stations. And people like, why they open up gas stations over there and not in America? Because it's cheaper. It's Africa. Now they got to do infrastructure stuff, but again, huge Indian populations there. Huge. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff going on. Listen, I know they drain the fun out of YouTube. Like if you have any kind of serious conversation, people are like, "This is boring. You're talking too long. You're rambling." I'm like, "No, you're a dummy. You can't even have an hour conversation." And even now, like I know from our numbers, like we're at an hour and 14 minutes, and I have to wrap it up. But literally, we have to chop every single video we have like this into a 10-minute segment because people brains can't take more than 10 minutes. It's just the truth. That's why people like me and other people will continue to win because we'll have lots of content out here. We'll make lots of books, lots of planters, lots of planning journals, all this stuff. And people be like, man, I don't know how they keep winning. When we'll literally teach it in the class and 90% of people don't do the work. You saw the books I just held up yesterday, right? Those are students who actually did the work. We have several coaching students already getting coaching clients. We have several people doing stuff. You literally have to stand up and do the work. That's it. The future for that kind of money moving around is here. Traditional banking is dead. I keep trying to tell y'all it's dead. Like when I told y'all about captive insurance the other week, and I got emails from people like, yo, I'm like, yeah, you literally could have a business, take $500,000, put it into an insurance company, and then let that insurance company loan you back your $500,000 at 1 or 2% interest and cover yourself. You don't understand. Y'all understand the game that's being played right now at all. Credit unions are faster and they're cheaper credit under the qualifications of cheaper credit. Mm-hmm. Yep. Wells Fargo. I'm telling you. I mean, that's what they do. They feed the accounts to death. Um, and several people are complaining about their banking lines of credit being closed. Let me tell you what's going to be happening. This is what some of y'all going to experience. You're going to be like, well, my credit card ain't closed, Ericka. Take your credit card and pay it all the way to zero. And then go back and open it up in a couple of days and see if they don't drop you down to half. They're doing that all over the United States right now. Capital One has a bank right in the middle of tech and domain. They want that money. They like, come on, tech person, come get that money. Very desperate for business. Mm-hmm. I hope that single mom and adjunct professor. What single mom? I gotta find that one. I know I can't say Chime is ghetto. Be ghetto. Blue Vine does actually pay that. Honey, I was at a store and like several of these young men were in front of me and at HEB and I won't think of nothing. I was just like typing in my phone. I looked up, every one of them had a Cash App card they were using. I was like, oh Lord. like like why y'all didn't all buy the groceries together? But I didn't. I just like stand in line, don't say nothing to these people. There you go. Oh, there's a ton of there is Grant Cardone was like, "Hey, I need $1 million out of the bank." They're like, "Well, we can't do that. Can we give you a cashier's check?" "No, I want cash." "Well, we can't do that." And he called and called. He's got several videos where he's done that multiple times. He's like, "I gave y'all 3 million, and I just want one of it back. Why can't I have one of it back?" And they was just losing their mind, losing it. They were like, "Well, sir, give us 2 weeks." He's like, 2 weeks? I need my money today. And they were like, well, we can't do it. We can't do it." Aaron Cleary don't even play. He wrote a book called Black Man's Guide to Getting Out of Debt, and I'm not even gonna. I have no qualms about the book because other Black people have co-spawned it. But at the end of the day, like what the book kind of said, I'm paraphrasing because I didn't read it, is get around a new environment. Trying to do what's fly, trying to be swag, trying to be cool. It's crazy. I have a book list. I'm gonna have to start emailing it out again and putting it in the community tab. We have a book list. Patrice, I would probably say you might have to do a collateral loan. That would suck, but a cash out refi, if you have equity, you should be fine. If it has equity in it, if it's not in like a condemned state or got fines on it, you should be able to get a cash out refi. If you can't get a cash out refi, I would say stack yourself up. I would say go to Home Depot Um, Loves, not Loves, Lowe's. I'm thinking of trucking. Sorry. I would also go to Sherwin-Williams for paint, and then if you have a builder that wants to, like a handyman or somebody needs to come do repairs, I would say, hey, I have all materials covered with my commercial line of credit with Home Depot, Lowe's, and Sherwin-Williams. Some of them even have some of those guys that do handyman work even have lines of credit they use that you can borrow from. They offer it with their services and make payments on it. So you will have to run your credit though. So Patricia, I hope that answered your question. If it don't, feel free to schedule a consult, or there's several channels talking about that. Remitly is good. Remitly is really a quality app when you're using to pay people in Africa. Let me just say it that way, and the Philippines. It's very safe and secure. Very safe and secure. But I use Remitly. I really don't like PayPal. PayPal has locked me again. PayPal locked up like $79,000 of my money for like 9 months the other year. I just have I have no tolerance for PayPal. PayPal literally has now put itself in like the worst fintech. That's why they started trying to give you, hey, look, we got loans, we got this, we're gonna give you some more stuff. Like that's why Stripe overtook PayPal, because PayPal's so shitty right now. But Remitly is the best you can use for Africa and the Philippines, just safety wise for your bank and for you. Gonna take that money and have to invest it somewhere. I'm actually might be building something in Saint Port Lucie, Florida. We'll see. It might be happening. Oh yeah, ferries and boats and little nowhere towns. There's a lot of pork in that bill, trust me. It is. I mean, people like Chime. I'm just telling you, when I had workers and we tried to do wiring their paycheck to them and PayPal system and then also QuickBooks system to pay them, it would Chime would not. They were like, we can't do Chime. They were mad. Oh yeah, it gets crazy. It gets absolutely insane. I'm just saying, I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can. Watches gold, land silver. I mean, it really is that simple. And boats. Watch what happens when I'm gonna say Torino all day. I don't care if it's called Truro or not. It's Torino. But I'll put it to you like this: like when 2008 happened, if you go look up South Carolina, North Carolina, they were drilling holes in boats and sinking them to get the insurance money. It was crazy. It was like so many boats they had to, like, the Coast Guard was exhausted pulling in boats. Well, this is the conundrum, Broderick. You have a lot of YouTubers, you have a lot of people making fast money and they don't know exactly where to put their money. That's why they're buying these cars and watches. Like they know the money needs to be active, but they're not certain. But you do have a I would say if you go watch Ben, what's his name, that big dude, Life for Sale out of Florida, him and several people that do a lot of real estate, they've been buying a lot of watches. A lot of the apartment folks from bigger pockets buying a lot of watches. Because you're like, why don't you buy more land, more apartments? And they're like, buy some watches. I have a Calendly link, mail cruise. If they didn't put it in the chat, it'll be in the description. It'll be under the pinned comments. Yes, you can get a plane. This is true. But when you land, depending on that country, they can do what they want. So here's the thing. What y'all don't understand is there are a lot of people who are ghostwriters, book writers. Aaron Clary's one of them. Affiliate marketing in different circles, different high tier YouTubers that always talk to each other. Don't get it twisted. Nothing suspicious about it. Shout out. Yes, Thomas Dickerson. What's your average prices for E&O insurance, if you could name them? I know it's crazy. Broderick, I'm telling you, people would not believe it, but it's happening out here. I mean, it's insane. I took $11,000 check. It was a wholesaling check to Chase Bank, and they would not cash it. because I didn't have an account there. And they were like, we can't do nothing for you. We could give you $2,000. I'm like, $2,000 out of 11. They're like, or you can start an account. I'm like, I'm not starting no account here. For what? For y'all to keep $500? Nah, I want all my money. So I had to take it to another bank. And then they were mad because it was a Chase. And they were like, well, we're going to hold it too. I was like, well, damn, can I get my money? I work really hard for this wholesale deal. And I was just a referral on it. And so eventually what ended up happening is another bank was like, we'll hold it for a day. And because you're such a client that runs so much money through this account, we will give you your money tomorrow. So it was weird. It was like, they were like, don't please, please, we'd love it. We'd love to keep your money. We'd love to take your check. And I was like, that's kind of suspicious. But anyway, so out of all, I had to go to 3 different banks basically to get one check cashed. And it's still, they had to hold it for a day. No, I mean, Wells Fargo will cash a check, but Bank of America will cash a check up to 4,500, I think. Last time I went, it was like up to 5,000, I think. That's not, you don't have an account with them, but they're going to charge you $10, right? So it is what it is because a lot of companies use Bank of America and Wells Fargo. Well, yeah, Bank of America and Wells Fargo. White coat investors, that's what it is. Also said that doctors are the most gullible investors and are cheated all the time. The white coat investor is it's very important. It's just like my friend Lane, who really does a lot of speaking to Bigger Pockets. In fact, also does a lot of speaking um, to what do you call them? Engineers, tech folks. Because I'm telling y'all, when I went to Afrotech, I met several black folks who had all these packages and benefits, and she literally said with a straight face, I didn't even know what these benefits were and how to use them and how to get access to them and what did my stock options even mean. I had to ask my coworker. I was scared to ask anybody else. And I'm like, girl, if you don't get to asking about your money, like what do you mean you don't know? So you have black and white people in tech they're saying, hey, we got these stock options, we got all this stuff, and they don't even know what that means. They don't even know, okay, I need to do this with it or do that with it. They don't have a clue. So Bigger Pockets in a lot of those places, they just know, hey, I'm making high income and I want to be a credit investor. How do I get there? Okay, cool. Well, how do I get 20% returns on my money? That's a lot of the conversation. Roscoe, listen. And the funny part is all this vitriol against brown people from selling courses like, well, somebody gave you the information, give it for free. Boo boo, your uncle tell you free information every day and you don't listen. So why are they gonna tell you something free? Stop it. Stop the cap. I know people who sold $7,000, $8,000 courses. They sold it to about 700 people. I would say the first round, about 700 people. Literally took that money and went over to real estate and ain't been back to sell no more courses. Trust me, it's a game. It's a game if you want to use that way. But I'm like literally, I still add information and value to all my courses because I know people are still coming back and reading them and looking them up, and it's frustrating because you want to help people, but they gotta want to help themselves. It really is. It's the same way, Melvin. You know that the words that I'm sick of black people using: high value, toxic, problematic, and narcissistic. Y'all are destroying what the words even mean. Destroying it. Don't want to hear it again, ever again. The reason we can't have straightforward conversations on banking, money, is because we're cloaked in all this BS. And it's like, listen, traditional banking is dead. Now, if you want to go buy a house tomorrow, you're going to jump through hoops and give a mortgage broker 9 times out of 10. You're not even going to go to your bank. You're going to go to your mortgage broker and give them all the paperwork and documents. And then they're going to go shop it around to 5,000 other programs and companies, see who will come back and say, yes, I'll do it. I'll take it. It's not even your local bank no more. And when you go look in a lot of these credit groups on Facebook, just example, just do it, test it for a day. They're all talking about cars. Oh my God, a car. If I can get a car. And the reason people, old school, if you're talking about you got a 1960s Camaro or something, cool. You can go to auction and get 50K out the market anytime, right? You got one of these old 1930s cars, you can get 30, 40K for it. You got these semi trucks, you can get 30, 40K for them. They're hard assets. But the obsession with loans for cars is just completely out of balance. We back. um, you know, uh, somebody coming up in here, they get beat up tonight. Anyway, prisons, materials, a little coin, of course. So here's the thing. When people talk to me about, well, all this digital things they can invest in and gold ETFs and stuff, and I'm like, listen to me. You got to I had 11 trucks at one time, and then we had I have 4 personal trucks. I've already done several videos on how people can make uh they can make like 250 per truck if all the trucks are running and they're perfect and there's not a hiccup. You can make about 250 a year. That's gross, not net. I've done a whole series of conversations on there and why the trucking industry, if you really dig deep and you start really asking questions, the majority of the people that really make money, they own the land the trucks park on and rent out spaces, and they own a ton of trailers. They don't own a ton of trucks. That's why all these companies did owner operators for a long time, because it was cheaper for them to bring you on, nickel and dime you to death, and not have to own the truck and not even have to own the trailer. Right. So a lot of money can be made, but it's gross, not net. Net is like 20%, if that. It's very low. Like, you'll get all kind of flags as far as funding. I've had people go like, "I'm like, oh, hey, here's my trucking company." They're like, "Oh, no," and you're like, "I got good numbers." Nope, no, thank you. They they don't want to loan to it. It's just dangerous. Jim Rode. I mean, he really is Jim Rogan. Yep. There you go. Listen, he's got that podcast. Listen, Terry the electrician is in a prime position. He's a perfect candidate for my digital real estate class. Why? He's been an electrician for years. He's made the money. He's made the numbers. He can either teach new batches of students, right? Let's just say Job Corps called him and say, "Hey, man, we need you to come teach a batch of electricians." He can teach a batch of students. He can teach it for profit. He can make the podcast. He can talk to other business owners. Again, you can go up or down however he wants on that. RX Perk, thank you for the $5 super chat. Amid inflation. Oh, wait, it moved. Hold on. Computer moved it. Taxi cabs, yeah. Yep, it disappeared. Y'all, what is going on? This computer. Hold on. Hold on. Cost. There you go, Eddie Hart. Tell him. Cost benefit analysis. It really is it's tough. It's illegal. You can't. And they changed their name. Long form content. Come on, listen, Terry the best. He really learning out of class. Y'all, I lost somebody's comment and it's making me mad. Hold on. It happens. I kid you not. If you could see some of the emails and comments we get from people, it's insane. It's insane. It's insane. It's like, and the emails will really be like, "Hey, listen, I'm just in a bad spot. I need to," and you'd be like, "You know what? We want to refund you just because we don't want you stuck. Good luck. Good luck." Xantos Clutch. That I'm just gonna let Xantos Clutch review go there. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put it in the video after it renders for a consult link because I can't right now. Just Bachelor Pad Economics is really good. I believe it. I lost somebody's super chat. I hate it. There you go. Okay, here's your question. It's not a super chat, but I'll go find a super chat again. Are you selling or refinancing residential homes? So I am currently only buying land lots in Texas and North Carolina for like under 20K. 5K. The goal is 5K. per lot, right? But 5K to 20K, and then I will build slowly several properties over a year. I mean, because here's the thing. I've studied and watched enough people in real estate in North Carolina and in my history. When the market changes, they just flip slower, or they do high end stuff or low end stuff or basic houses, right? So if you're in Texas and everybody's charging $500,000 for a home, and you go 40 minutes outside the city and you charge 450 or 350, and it only costs you 150 to build it. You know, 175 maybe build it plus the lot play. You're gonna walk away with a lot of money. Now, first thing somebody gonna say, well, a bunch of people are doing that, Ericka. Again, that's that scarcity mentality. It's just not true. A lot of people are not doing it because they just assume people don't want to live that far out, whatever. I am. I would love to refinance some properties to help improve them, clean them up, because I'm a long term. Like if I buy something in Detroit, I'm gonna be there for 50 years, right? I'm gonna just keep it forever, right, until they force me out of there. But not everybody that you invest with thinks like that. There, a lot of people are like, "Well, we out of it right now." No, we're gonna be in the bad boy 7, 8 years, so we might as well refinance and clean it up and just keep it moving for Section 8. Um, but I'm big on. I'm just buying land because here in Texas, I can either make it like put a little tiny home on it, you know, which what y'all gonna learn is you're gonna see more people doing glamping style stuff with the tarps and stuff. Not the tarps, the thick canvas, than tiny homes, because tiny homes are now starting to get more regulations, more issues with plumbers. You know, you gotta get plumbers out to get the plumbing to it, and it's starting to have some issues. So exactly, it's really crazy. That is still up. It's still going. We actually have 3 more classes. We have a class tomorrow. We have a class Wednesday and a class on the 21st. The 21st class is the final live training. I'll fill in all the other the videos. That's what I'm kind of doing today and tomorrow, in the sections that's supposed to be in there. I just needed a break earlier a couple weeks ago. I just needed a break. Um, and what it's going to do is basically that last class, you should be able to be in that last the class on the 21st, and you should be able to tell me what you're launching on the 25th. Like people in my coaching class, they should be already have stuff out. Period. They should be launching and finishing stuff. So, um, it's just not that hard. Oh, I'm sick of hearing that shit too, because they ain't really doing it. There's some people doing it, but not a ton. That's what I'm saying. People don't do the free stuff. Remy Sethi, one time I remember reading one of his emails. He said, if you've been on my email list for 7 years and you haven't bought anything, get off. And it was so funny because I'm like, he's like, I bet you people still won't leave. And they won't. Thank you for this right here. Thank you for the super chat. This is true, but you should also, stop it. They be doing all kind of craziness. Oh, Lisa, that's what this whole video is. No. Here's the thing about trucks. The guy driving the best position, the the top 100% optimum position. If you are a person with a CDL and you go buy a truck and you could drive all month long and make 40K gross, 20K net, and then decide not to drive for the whole next month. It's your choice, right? The problem is a lot of the truck loans, because a lot of truckers have bad credit, which is, bad credit is just whatever. Who cares? For me, 9 times out of 10, I don't care about the bad credit conversation. They're going to charge you 13, 15% interest on that truck loan. I've seen people come to me in consults where they bought a $35,000 truck and they're paying, once everything's said and done, $65,000 total. And you got to remember, trucks have issues, breakdowns, issues, all kind of stuff. There is some real subprime craziness going on in trucking. So that's why when I try to sell used trucks to get rid of them, liquidate them for the investors, people are like, all I got is 20K. Well, baby, I'm sorry. The average truck's 40K right now. You were to come with 30. All I got is 15K in my pocket. Baby, you need to go save some more money. That ain't enough. So the people that really make money is the person who drives the truck. Honestly, if they own the truck. Trucking companies in general, this is nationwide, it's 20%. I don't care what nobody on the internet is telling you. Go look at the national stats. It's 20%. I can show you document after document. That's why I quit even talking about it. People literally are like, Ericka, quit talking about it. What's my opinion? It's an industry like any other. You can go get money out of it like any other. Like any other. The only difference is you got to see a lot of people aren't in the office right now. So, in my opinion, instead of focusing on dry cleaning services, I would focus on we'll wash your clothes and fold them or whatever, right? Or we'll come to your house and wash and fold your clothes at your house. That's an actual industry that's making a lot of money. A lot of girls who clean houses, I'm learning because I own a cleaning company, is they'll ask, do you guys do folding services? And I'm like, ma'am, we're gonna have to charge you extra 50. You know what I'm saying? Because 50 to more, because by the time we, like, prime example, if they're there for 3 hours, they wash and dry the clothes. By the time they're done cleaning, like a luxury deep clean, then they're gonna fold your clothes. That's gonna be more time, right? They're gonna be there for like 4 hours in a day. So it would be easier if you say, hey, if you wash your clothes, da, 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 we'll get there. When they get there, we'll dry them and fold them. So it just depends on the market you're in, high end kind of stuff, or picking up people's laundry and washing them. That could be a thing too. So, but the dry cleaning, when you the fabrics people use nowadays, most dummies just throw everything in the wash machine and tear it up. Here's my thing. Everybody gets access to plumbing right now. Like people just need plumbers. Like, companies don't care if you black. If you in some podunk town and you ain't getting a choice, that's something. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna get you in there. They gonna get you in there. Trust me. There you go. Thank you for the $30 super chat, Tam. Tam. The emails, if you could see, shit is crazy. 577 people, only 78 likes. Y'all is haters. Hit the like button already. Oh, I gotta get out of here. It's going on 2 hours. No, they're still in Europe. Some of them are still in Europe. The sister. Depends. Yeah, no. I'm going to near St. Pete's. And then even past St. Pete's. That's crazy. Yep. Well, come on into class, y'all. I mean, listen, class will be tomorrow. The last three live trainings will be tomorrow, Sunday, Wednesday, and the 21st. That's it. Not long. I think it's like it's like 5 years. It depends. A lot of stuff I'm seeing is 5 years, 60 months, but a lot of stuff I have seen is 36 months because those trucks tear up, honey. They tear up. Lisa, we ain't starting the show over. That's too much. I already said that in the beginning of the show. Sorry if you're late to the show. You got a super chat because I got to go. So anyways, you guys, I've been here an hour and 43 minutes. I am going to go watch movies with my friends. That's right. Stinky, sweaty, smelly. Watch a movie with my friends. They'll be okay. We're going to be in the dark. Nobody cares. And so I hope this was helpful for you guys. We'll break this video down. At the end of the day, if you are frustrated with banking, your business lines of credit are closing, your personal lines of credit are closing, first of all, be in the Rise 20% class. We've had multiple business owners come on and tell you what to do. Secondly, if you're in Rise 20% class, I'm going to tell you on Tuesday, you're going to have to produce some income. That's just all it is to it. You got to produce some income. And when you produce the income, then you got to put it in hard assets. Top 5 hard assets is going to be land. It's going to be vehicles. It's going to be small silver, small portable gold. It's going to be watches. Why did I put watches in there? Number 6 is artwork, but number 5 is watches because it's more portable, it's more reasonable, and art is really dominated by bigger name folks. So hopefully that was helpful. This was like a training. This was like a daggone Ride 20% class, but hope this was helpful. All right, you guys, have a great day.